Students, today I am going to take up the topic of working of human hearts from chapter number 6, Life Processes in Science for Standard 10th. The human heart is a vital organ of our body. It works tirelessly throughout the lifetime of an individual, pumping blood to all the parts of the body. It lies in the middle of the chest between the lungs, slightly tilted towards the left. The size of the heart is the size of the clenched fist of an individual. Now, let's look at the cross-section of the human heart. The heart can be divided into the right and the left half based on the dividing wall, which is called as the septum. Now, when you draw the figure, students, please keep in mind that you are facing the notebook, so your right hand side will be the left hand side for the figure. Similarly, your left hand side will be the right hand side for the figure. Now, if you look into this figure, there are 4 chambers. The upper 2 are called the atria, while the lower 2 are called the ventricles. Based on the positions, this is the right atrium and the right ventricle, the left atrium and the left ventricle. Now, if you look at it very carefully, the ventricles have got valves at their entrance. This ensures that the blood, once it comes into the ventricle, does not flow back into the atrium. Similarly, the ventricles also have got thick muscular walls than the atria. This is because they have to pump the blood out of the heart with great force. Now, let's look into the working of the human heart. The deoxygenated blood from the upper and lower parts of the body will be brought into the right atrium with the help of the largest vein, which is called as the vena cava. The right atrium expands to receive this deoxygenated blood and then contracts to pump it into the right ventricle. The right ventricle also expands to receive this blood from the atrium, and then this deoxygenated blood has to be sent to the lungs for oxygenation. So, the right ventricle will then contract and pump the blood through the pulmonary artery into the lungs. Once it reaches the lungs, carbon dioxide will be taken out of the blood and oxygen will be added into the blood. So it is in the lungs that the blood gets oxygenated. Now, this oxygenated blood needs to reach all the parts of the body. So, this blood is sent through the pulmonary veins into the left atrium. Now, the left atrium expands and receives this oxygenated blood and then contracts to pump it down into the left ventricle. The left ventricle also expands to receive this and then contracts to pump the oxygenated blood through the aorta into all the parts of the body. This is how the oxygenated blood reaches the cells, tissues and organs of the body. And this completes one cycle of circulation and the process goes on and on. Since the blood travels twice through the heart in one circulation, it is also called double circulation. So students, this is how the heart keeps pumping the blood and helps us to stay alive.